Hey unicorns, welcome back to university. Sorry the screen's a little bit crooked, but that's how I roll. Today I'm going to give you a brief rundown on the Epicureans and the Stoics. Both of them pretty unknown in today's world, which is highly uncool. Especially because most modern thinkers are in some way Epicurean. What? So Epicureanism was founded by Epicurus, named after him, and he was an atomist, which believes that, golly gee, the world is made up of atoms. Dude, they knew this in ancient Greece, and it took us forever to figure it back out. Yeah, crazy, right? Epicureans had a 4-part cure, which was the key to happiness. Don't fear God, don't fear death, what is good is easy to get, and what is terrible is easy to endure. Mainly death again. Now, a lot of modern people believe that the world is simply physical and that, everything is made up of atoms. That's scientifically proven and all of that stuff. But modern people try to escape from the fear of death through technology. We have all sorts of distractions, we have medicine, and we try to overcome nature. But the ancient Epicureans would not have agreed with that because, as is the case in the Athenian plague, that Lucretius, who was a Roman Epicurean, mentioned at the end of his On the Nature of Things, which I highly recommend, Athens, in its golden age, had all of this wonderful stuff, all of this great medicine, and it all failed the second this plague hit during a war. So the same thing could happen to us, all of the computers could shut down Y2K style, and we would be screwed. So the key is philosophy, according to the Epicureans. Epicureans thought that pleasure was a cycle of pleasure and pain. They thought that it was all kinetic pleasure, like friction, in a sense, that felt good at the time, like eating too much or whatever, but would eventually leave you empty and sad and need to do it all over again. So they thought that the best way to achieve happiness was through eliminating all of that, which was a katastematic pleasure, which is the elimination of kinetic pleasures, to achieve ataraxia, which is a peace, an inner peace that is the highest form of happiness for the Epicureans. So it's the exact opposite of what people think. They were not a pleasure cult, they were an aesthetic cult. Not aesthetic, ascetic, or ascetic. I shouldn't say ascetic, that sounds like an acid. But whatever. So, yeah, very, very strict. Not Aristotle's moderation, but a complete withdrawal. Stoicism was founded by another Greek philosopher, Epictetus, not to be confused with Epicurus. Very, very different people. Although some people credit Zeno, or Zeno, depending on how you choose to pronounce it. That's weird. He didn't. But he was a Stoic as well. And Stoicism was actually made famous by the thinker Marcus Aurelius, who was emperor. And what's funny about the fact that he was emperor was that Epictetus, was a slave of Nero, actually, so it kind of had a broad span. First thing you learn about Stoicism is you should just kind of let go of things that are out of your control, and you should only act on things that are within your control. And wisdom is knowing the difference. Sounds a lot like the Serenity Prayer, huh? Some people accuse the Stoics of resignation because they seemed to just accept a lot of externals. Some people also said that they had a love of fate. But none of that's true. They actually believed that, you can't control somebody else's behavior. And, you can't control whether your sports team's going to win or not. So you just kind of relax and let what happens happen. And that's the best way to live a stress-free life. Which is actually pretty damn reasonable. And it's not incompatible with a variety of other ancient philosophies that you may or may not be familiar with. So the Stoics were actually a lot cooler than people think they were, especially Marcus Aurelius specifically. His Meditations, fantastic book. So yeah. Marcus Aurelius also practically invented the vacation, so you probably want to, give him some props for that. So those were just the very, very, very basics of these two philosophies, but I hope it's piqued your interest at least a little bit. The works of Epicurus and Epictetus are very short, especially because we lost a lot of Epictetus's work and only rediscovered a lot of it in Herculaneum, which was destroyed by not destroyed by Pompeii, it was destroyed along with Pompeii by Vesuvius. So if you want to read one of those, they're both really short, but the Roman works are actually much, much more interesting. So I hope that you guys are a little bit more interested in that now, and until next time, University, out.